Today is the last day of the fourth week, and I didn't film separately the week 2 and the week 3 because on the week 2 it was more or less the same like the week 1, so you can watch the video of the first week. And yeah, tomorrow I'm getting the final fourth shot of 2.5 milligram, and then I will be switching to the 5 milligrams. What can I say overall? There is like a pattern from week to week. I gotta say that a week ago on the third shot, there was less side effects than on the first 2 weeks. And what I mean by that is I didn't feel the first 72 hours as if it would be some kind of like body aches, I do not know, like tiredness and things like that. So the first and the second week for me was more or less very noticeable, and the third week was just whatever, like okay. So I believe that the body is kind of like adjusted. I still didn't have the appetite, of course, but if I look at the weight, I gotta say that so the beginning was like 80 kilograms, and now it's 75.7. So on the last 1 week, on the last week, or within that last week, it wasn't that much of a weight loss. So in the beginning, the first week, like I said before, it's just a significant water drop. So that's why you are seeing more or less, or I was seeing on the scale, because I was just measuring it every day to see how it goes. And that was that rapid water loss thing. And now it's kind of like steadied, and I don't think that it's going to be super rapid. First 3 days after the shot, those are kind of like, I mean, not the critical ones, but the ones where you mostly might feel the side effects, like the first 72 hours. And after that, on the day like 4th and till the rest of the week, you will just experience that your body is coming back to normal. Maybe your appetite is also getting a little bit back, so you do not have that. It's not that I was getting hungry, for example, past 2 days, but the moment I started eating, I realized that I could eat more, for example. This week I also tried alcohol. It was just a glass of wine and a bottle of beer. And to be honest, it's just so hot that at the times I didn't know, was that a little bit of the exhaustion because of the heat, because of the drug, or because, I do not know, I just had a hangover from that one glass. And just to make your body, I guess, like handle it better and just to feel better, it's not only like the drug, like you have to take a look at what part of the cycle you are at the moment. Of course, then in your luteal phase, you will feel it even more. And of course, when it's like plus 35 degrees heat and you don't have the air conditioner at home, it feels even worse. You just don't want to move. And here comes a little bit the part where like you are supposed to move, right? And it's better if you move. And the more you lie, the more you want to lie, the more you move, the more you want to move. And of course, when you are lying in such a heat, your appetite is also decreasing, like naturally. I do not know. I know that on the heat, people are affected differently by the heat, but I feel myself always exhausted, like extra exhausted. And so this past 10 days was so hot, and it's still hot, so I do not know really. It's like the combination of everything, to be honest. And I'm also on my luteal phase at the moment, so everything is just exaggerated a little bit altogether, which in the conclusion, it's still not that bad. Like, it's not that bad. But for example, the other day, which I believe was kind of like the side effects, which I didn't experience on the first week, maybe because I was eating really like a small amount of portions. But yesterday, for example, we went to a restaurant. I ordered like a plate of risotto, and it was a little like too big plate. And the moment I just started eating it, I just got immediately full, and I couldn't finish it. And it's really to that point where if you eat like extra, I think that was the moment where I felt that you have the extra bite, extra fork, then it's gonna be like crucial to the point that you will have to go and release it. Because of that heat, I gotta say that in those 3 weeks, I couldn't really establish yet a super like healthy diet and exercising, because like I said, in some days I felt the fatigue because of the heat, because of the drug, and my plan to start working out didn't really work out because it was so hot, and the moment I was just like going for my walks, and that was enough for me. And some days I didn't go for a walk because I didn't feel energized enough. And of course, in the first days after the shot, you have to eat, like you have to eat, because if you do not eat, then you will get the extra fatigue because you are not eating. So that's probably the hardest part somehow, because you don't want to eat, kind of like forget about the time. If you have the breakfast and then bang, like you just do something, whatever, and it's already, you missed the lunchtime and you have to think about the dinner. So for the purposes of getting my protein, I bought a protein powder, and I will show this one because this one is a little bit the medical, or the one you can buy from the pharmacy. I do not know really like what's the difference between them, but I think it contains things like also potassium, sodium, whatever, which is also like good for hydration. And but yeah, I just wanted to try it. And of course, I was just like getting, for example, when I was forgetting to eat lunch, I tried at least to get like a small protein shake, and to feel like better, because the first days after the shot, those are the ones where I was feeling like the weakest, I guess. I already mentioned that before, and I read it. If you are a working person, or if you have to be somewhere from Monday to Friday, it was recommended to do it on the Friday evening, for example, that the first 72 hours are going through the weekend, overlapping the weekend, and you can just like, I do not know, maybe lay down or have a rest, because that might be problematic. For example, if you make a shot and the next 72 hours, especially in the beginning, that first month when your body is still adjusting, that that you have to go somewhere, go for work and things like that, or maybe you do it on your vacation or start the first month. I think by the third shot, like I said, I had the feeling that the body finally adjusted. So tomorrow is going to be the fourth one, and I believe I will not have such a like super like side effects. Which, okay, super side effects was not my case, but yeah. And of course, when I will try in a week the first dose of 5 milligrams, because it's going to be the increase, I probably will still have the side effects, as I read. So they're going to be like a little bit renewed. But due to the fact that 2.5 milligrams is not the maintaining dose, of course, you can stay on it, but I read that the minimum is 5 milligrams. So I already got the recipe for 5 milligrams. I will try it, and I can go anytime back to 2.5 if I feel, for example, that is like too much. But like I said, so in 3 weeks now, it's 4.3 kilograms is gone, and it's more or less steadied. So the couple of days ago, when I had to drink, and I was like drinking a lot of water after that, I felt like I got a little more puffy, and was a little bit retaining water also in the luteal phase, so it might slightly go still up, that half a kilogram on the scale or something like that. And it's of course not recommended to watch your weight on the scale and weight yourself every single day. But if you don't have a problem and you are not overthinking it, you can, of course, and to just monitor it and say like, okay, at the moment I'm on my luteal phase, so it's like, it's fine. Or for example, if I drank or ate something salty in the evening, whatever, I got a little more puffy and there's the extra water. The hydration is, of course, like the main thing. It is a little bit annoying because at times you also like forget to drink water, and I'm drinking just the mineral water because we're like, I mean, in Germany, we just buy it by the boxes, and there's just mineral water, not sparkling, just distilled. But in the mineral water, there's things like a little bit magnesium, sodium, natrium, whatever, the minerals. So it also helps to hydrate yourself. Of course, I would recommend also like for a case for the first days, when you are losing extra water, maybe get a pack of electrolytes. But at the same time, I think they are still, I do not know, like if you do not feel like drinking the artificial thing, just maybe like a pinch of sea salt, and then the water will be fine. Just drink plenty of water in the first days, when in the first week when you will be like losing a lot. Now, like I said, in that first 3 weeks, I couldn't really establish like a good routine. How I see it and how my plan is, while I'm on Mounjaro and do not have that appetite, strong appetite, and I'm not really thinking about and concentrating all the time on the food, the goal is to establish such a routine or the healthy lifestyle. So when you are getting out of Mounjaro, which I'm not planning to take forever, that you are already got used to the healthy lifestyle and you are just maintaining your weight and you are just healthy and continuing being like that. So my plan was, exercise wise, is obviously to lift weights, and the doctor also told me maybe the running, I mean running is great, right, for your cardiovascular system, but it's a cardio, and when you are on a weight loss drug or when you are on like Mounjaro, it's better to concentrate on the maintaining your muscle mass. And that's, I know it also sounds like annoying, but for that you have to eat the protein and load your muscles at least a little bit. For me, it was a little difficult because I only could just a couple of times do something with the weights, because at home I just have a kettlebell, some weights and the resistant bands, so I'm more or less equipped. But I gotta say, it was a little, because of the heat, it was just so difficult to just convince yourself to do something. So I tried to go for a walk as well. Also, we're living on the third floor, so I was like, okay, okay, that's it, a little bit also counts, right, if you are just going up the stairs several times a day. What else? Eating wise, I wouldn't say that my diet before was extra bad, or like, I don't want to use the word bad, but like, it was not like junk food all the time, but it was kind of like, even with the healthy food, you still can gain weight if you eat a lot. So my problem was always that I wasn't getting full fast enough, or let's say I was eating a lot before I got the full sensation. And even if normally I'm really like a slow eater, so I know that you have to eat slow, that in 20 minutes you get the signal that it's like done. So I was not getting it, so I was eating quite a lot. And but I wouldn't say that I was like super binge eating or anything like this, or that couldn't stop like and finishing the chocolates and chips or whatever. Yes, from time to time I drink Coke, but it's always like zero sugar and everything. So I think for me it was always the amount rather than the content of the food, and what I want to do, or I think what is my weak spot as well, is to get the protein. So I started a little bit counting how much do I eat, and on Mounjaro, as you don't want to eat as much, for example, one egg in the morning and that's all you can eat. Or a slice of, I don't know, a bread, small bread with avo on it, which was my regular breakfast most of the time, but it was a little bigger, it was 2 slices of bread, it was like a lot of avo, it was some sunflower and the pumpkin seeds, so like 2 eggs maybe. And here you just reduce it, so you have to think about a lot what you can pack in that small amount of food portion. So obviously I know it sounds always like, that protein, the protein. You have to just like think about the protein and hydration and protein and hydration. But we are not making the rules because the muscles just work like that, right? And if you don't want to lose it, if you don't want to have the saggy body, not healthy, if you don't want to have that sarcopenia, which is like the losing of the muscle mass, you just have to get at least the decent amount of protein. What is the difficult part? When you don't want to eat, and the protein is something which is in general making you full faster. Here it comes the problem that you cannot get that amount, and I think using the protein shakes is like here. I think it's good advice to have them, but of course you make your own decision. So let's say eggs, let's say some yogurts and stuff, chicken breast, turkey breast, everything like lean meat. This is what in the future has to become your regular diet, right? And adding some vegetables, because at the time, for example, when I had a plate of let's say we are grilling, and there's turkey steak, there are some vegetables and stuff, I really struggled like to finish a little bit that piece of meat. But I understood that has to go first into my stomach, and the rest is optional. So if you are following that rule more or less, you will possibly get your protein as much as you can. Do not start, for example, eating your meals from the side dish. Try to eat the protein first. That would be my advice, which I read just from the internet. So yeah, if you have any questions regarding that, I do not know if I feel like I covered more or less everything. But if you have any questions, of course, do not hesitate to ask me in the comments, subscribe. I will try to post a little more often, or at least once a week, a video. It's just meanwhile so hot, I don't want to move at all. Not even film, not even mount, but yeah, ask me the questions, and of course subscribe. See you, bye.